All right, Ian. On that sealed note, we're going to talk about a perspective. We don't really get into this too much. The perspective, Ian, of sealed games in the future. TurboGrafx-16 was a console that came out in 1989, 10-year anniversary of my Christmas episode. 10 years. You just gave me an eyebrow raise.
I did.
So this is a console that in the past year, 2 years, few years, more and more people have discovered. Definitely in the last 5-6 years, with a lot of YouTube videos. We have the Mini that came out from Konami finally decided to dust off the TurboGrafx properties they've had for like 10 years. And so a lot more people know about the TurboGrafx. And obviously it was on the Virtual Console. That was kind of shocking at the time to see that those games released on the Wii. So, but it's still a very it's an unknown system. So when someone asked to discuss, it was S.A. Jewers asked us to discuss this prospect. There was someone on eBay selling a lot of sealed TurboGrafx games, and some are graded, asking basically, well, what do you think about this for the future? And this is sort of a weird situation with TurboGrafx. We talked about it before, is that it's a system that no one really knows about. Almost no one in the U.S. grew up with the TurboGrafx-16. Almost no one. They didn't sell that many. I'll look up the numbers in a second here. Not a lot of iconic titles on TurboGrafx. You want to say a handful at most, especially for North America. You obviously be more in the PC Engine, but not a lot that were particularly just bound to the console.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best ones would be Bonk, which people do know, and the Star Soldier series is largely bound to the PC Engine.
And Splatterhouse. First console release.
Yeah.
People
always think of Splatterhouse when they think of the Turbo.
Because it was a big deal at the time. That was kind of a big deal. Oh, it's kind of a semi-violent game on a console.
Sure.
Talking like that came out later 90. So TurboGrafx-16 was relevant for like a year and a half in the U.S. Maybe we'll say 2 years until like 91. It was relevant. Then after that, no one cared anymore. CD was too expensive. Turbo Duo came out and almost no one bought it here because their marketing was terrible and it was too expensive, and they didn't have the other killer third-party games, and not enough good first-party ones here. So this seller listed a bunch of sealed stuff, and they didn't go for that much in general. I'm not surprised.
No, it didn't. I'm not either. I'm not super surprised. I'm trying to think of why. One, you said it's not a system that a lot of people know about, especially for this kind of collecting. I think there has to be far more general enthusiasm, for people to really get into the sealed graded collecting, and nothing here is of the caliber, like we talked about in the Wada Pawn Stars segment, of like a Mario, a Zelda, or a Pokemon. So plus a lot of these people, I think they buy this stuff and they want to use it, they want to play it, so a sealed copy is not going to hold, or a sealed, especially a graded copy, is not going to hold the same allure. A lot of this stuff that I'm seeing sealed and graded, I can't imagine would have gone for a whole lot less without the grading.
Oh, the grading was a waste.
Yeah, the grading definitely does not feel like it has increased the value of any of this.
Absolutely. I didn't see my value button there. I got to do it once.
The value!
I mean, look at Power Golf, went for $51 graded. That seller took a loss unless he bought that Power Golf for like $1. To grade it costs like, at least minimum $40 to $50 to ship it back and forth. So he took a loss.
I mean, Fantasy Zone for $78?
I have it sealed. I mean, Fantasy Zone sealed.
Fucking buy that and crack it open.
That's not one of those ones that there's a lot of these games, like TV Sports Football, where I have several copies because 10, 12 years ago, there was a guy that had hundreds of them.
Right.
And like TV Sports Hockey and like TV Sports Basketball. I have about 15 games sealed on there. So when I see something like, oh, TV Sports Football, if that went for $500, guess what Pat was going to do? Take 3 of them off my shelf and get them graded and sell them. Like if that would happen, because I have multiple of them. Because again, I used to buy these for like $10 each. The Cosmic Fantasy 2 one, which you could only find sealed, is on there for $200, which is weird. Because you can still buy that sealed new easily.
I sold my copy for $100 like a couple of years ago. So,
this one is interesting. It wasn't graded though. Oh no, it wasn't sealed. It was just complete. Aeroblasters 330. Wow, that's 330 just complete. Wow, that's gone up.
It's a shooter, but see,
you have to know the system to know that.
It's a shooter. It's complete, and it's in nice shape, but it's not sealed. Like
Sure.
people, that's something that I'm not surprised to see money go towards that, because that's something that someone who actually wants to play the game is going to be like, look, I have this in nice condition and I can also play it.
Blazing Lasers 180 graded, sealed only.
That one's going up a little bit, so I don't. Yeah, and then there was one other one that I
Military
saw.
Madness 170 is not a well known title, but it's tied to the system, but no one cares.
Lords of Thunder sealed. I think the last copy I knew of that just loose was going for like 200. I mean, not loose, but in its case, not sealed. I think was 200.
So this one went for 282
yeah,
sealed,
so
which
not
means
a
like
whole lot more.
it's almost like this is like still a player collector system, where like if you buy these games, you're more likely to play these things. Maybe.
The only one that had any sort of real significant jump up that I can tell of from, well, actually, I don't know what a U.S. Superstar Soldier goes for, so I don't know.
Pac-Man only went for $100.
Yeah.
Graded. So not even still, it's graded. So yeah, none of this stuff. Sidearms graded at 130. So like this is like you shouldn't even graded these things. Fighting Street 170 graded. So it's almost like these would have went for the same amount sealed, or maybe more, because people would want to open them up. Like you said, like
Well,
maybe.
yeah, I was wondering like if they might have gone for slightly more without the case.
Vigilante seal went for graded went for 120.
120.
Wow.
So
The one that went for the most was the not even $560 for Exile Wicked Phenomenon, the sequel, complete with that outer case, which I don't think I even have, for $560, not even sealed.
I should have fucking bought that when I had the chance.
Yeah, me too. I should have got what was the other one? Bastille with the outer slip cover. I could have bought it for $100 about 4 years ago.
Yeah, I could have had that.
I don't have the slip cover. I didn't realize people would be crazy enough to go for that little slip cover on it. So here's the point. Ease 3 went graded for 500. That's an interesting one, because that's like, okay, it's interesting role playing. It's connected to the system a little bit. That's interesting. TurboGrafx. Here we go. Splatterhouse, not sealed, complete in box, went for $300. All right, I got my sealed one waiting there. So the whole point is this: is that poor World Class Baseball went graded for only $41. I would have won that just to have it. I honestly would have, because that's one of the ones I had as a kid. I would have went for that.
It's not a bad game.
No, it's not at all. It's just that there's no season mode. It's a knockout mode. You beat one team at a time, and there's no battery save, which stinks on it. Player stat book included. The little sticker on the front. I like that. They do have stats for each player you go through. Fun little game. I'd be the New York Apples all the time. Hit a home run into the parking lot and see the Batmobile. Remember that in the parking lot? Great game. There. Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there will be some systems that slip through the cracks. Not saying this is going to be like selling sealed 3DO games, but it's definitely not going to be like sealed NES or Super Nintendo or probably even Genesis. It won't hit that. It just won't. So yeah. Some of these. Wow. Honestly, if I knew about some of these, I would have bid on some of these just to say, hey, I got a World Class Baseball graded for like $50, just to put it on the wall. But no, there will be a few, because now we're seeing some of the Genesis stuff come up and some of the PlayStation long box, and most of that 99% of stuff will probably be nothing compared to the complete in box value. But there will be some ones that slip through, like Splatterhouse, maybe a Bonk. I'd be interested in seeing that in the future.
Yeah.